Birmingham Airport, November 2024. 180 kilos of cocaine about to roll out unnoticed. A normal Tuesday morning. Families waiting at arrivals. Holidaymakers dragging bags. Airport staff moving through routine shifts. Nothing seemed out of place. But hidden in plain sight, a grandmother had turned this terminal into the heart of a multi-million-pound trafficking pipeline. A woman who looked ordinary, but who built a system that pulled in her own children, her in-laws, and even family friends. For months, suitcases loaded in Cancún moved silently through this carousel, lifted as if they belonged to returning passengers. It was simple, it was repeatable, and it almost worked. Until surveillance closed in and the entire family line collapsed under the weight of their own madness. On the surface, Farzana Kauser looked like countless other mothers from Bradford. 54 years old, raising her family, seen at local gatherings as a grandmother who blended into everyday life. But behind that mask, Kauser was building something far darker. Investigators would later call her the linchpin, the one who connected international suppliers with British couriers, the one who gave the orders, and the one who recruited her own bloodline. Her eldest son, Junaid Shafak, 33, became her right hand. He coordinated trips, monitored schedules, and acted like the second in command. His younger brother, Mohammed Amir Shafak, 28, handled courier runs, literally pushing the bags through terminals. Then came Umair Mohammed, just 22, an age when most people are starting careers, but instead, he was walking straight into airport surveillance. Kauser's manipulation didn't stop with her sons. She pulled in her daughter-in-law, Sarah Hussein, 27, who was expected to act not as a shield from crime, but as another pawn in the scheme. Even the youngest weren't spared. Safa Noor, 19, was tasked with courier duties. And Hamza Shafak, only 17 at the time, barely out of childhood, was already serving his mother's international drug empire. Beyond blood, Kauser reached outward. A family friend, Khaled Abdulkawi, 36, joined the conspiracy. To him, loyalty and money outweighed the risk. The brilliance and the madness of this system was in its simplicity. No false compartments, no elaborate concealments. Just timing, routine, and calm. The family would book tickets for short trips. Dublin, Amsterdam, flying light, often with no checked luggage. Harmless on the surface. But the real play was synchronization. Their return flights were timed to arrive at Birmingham just as long-haul flights from Cancún, Mexico were landing. And on those Cancún flights sat the real cargo. Suitcases stuffed with high-purity cocaine, loaded by corrupt insiders thousands of miles away. In the baggage hall, crowds from short-haul and long-haul mixed together. Passengers returning from holidays, passengers returning from short city breaks, and Kauser's couriers walking calmly toward the Mexico carousel. They'd lift unaccompanied bags as if they were their own, wheel them past customs, push them through sliding doors, blending into the flow of families reuniting with loved ones. It was a system designed to be invisible. No frantic movements, no elaborate smuggling devices, just ordinary behavior masking extraordinary crime. And for months, it worked. Reports suggest at least 5 successful runs between August and November 2024, each one feeding millions into Kauser's network. But the very repetition that made it efficient also made it traceable. Patterns were forming, and the National Crime Agency was watching. Investigators don't reveal their hand until the game is over. By autumn 2024, the NCA had already mapped the family's travel routines. They knew who booked which flights. They knew which short-haul arrivals lined up with Cancún. They were watching baggage hauls, noting who lingered where, who moved without luggage, who suddenly picked up heavy suitcases. Behind the scenes, plain-clothed officers shadowed movements, studying calm faces that gave away nothing. CCTV built a library of evidence, family members positioning themselves near the Mexico carousel, stepping forward at just the right moment, lifting cases that weren't theirs. To an untrained eye, it looked ordinary. To investigators, it was the final proof. And so, the stage was set for November 11th, 2024. 6 suitcases loaded in Cancún were about to land in Birmingham. Kauser's couriers arrived on schedule, booked on their fake short trips. The NCA was already in place. As passengers streamed out of customs that morning, Kauser's crew blended perfectly. They rolled trolleys through arrivals, heavy cases stacked on top. CCTV showed them pushing calmly through automatic doors, wheeling their haul toward the airport forecourt. To anyone else, it was just another family back from holiday. But the NCA wasn't watching as strangers. They were closing in. Just as the group began loading bags into waiting vehicles, officers moved. Sirens, commands, chaos in the car park. 6 individuals surrounded. 6 suitcases seized before they could leave airport grounds. Inside, compressed blocks, tightly wrapped, nearly 180 kilos of cocaine. Wholesale value, £5 million. Street value, once cut and distributed, over $14 million. One operation, dismantled in minutes. But the real win wasn't just the seizure. It was the end of an entire family pipeline that had been running unchecked for months. By mid-2025, the full weight of the court came down. At the top, Farzana Kauser, 13 years, 4 months. Her eldest, Junaid Shafak, 10 years, 9 months. Mohammed Amir Shafak, 8. Birmingham Airport, November 2024. A grandmother turns routine flights into international madness. Families torn apart. Millions in drugs stopped cold. The lesson? Not every passenger at arrivals is carrying their own bag. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking people are building empires of crime. What do you think? Were Kauser's children victims of manipulation, or were they willing criminals in her empire? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more shocking cases from across the world, hit subscribe, because this is global madness, and the chaos is only just beginning.